Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It's June 14th, 2025 and the time is 12:18 p.m. We're going to tap right in and see if we can get a storyline, an update for the collective. What do we got going on, Spirit? For the collective, please. Storyline for the collective. All right, in the central energy, Five of Swords. There could be a conflict here. There's either a defeat or there's a conflict. Upheaval in either case. In the challenge position, Five of Wands, Five of Swords, Five of Wands. So again, conflict. It could be that there's a thief or a bully who has been bringing conflict, who is challenged by a return on that conflict. And in the, okay, come on. In the subconscious, whoa, okay. So we've got the Devil here, codependent, toxic, devil energy, and we've got the Page of Pentacles reversed. They're irresponsible, they got some bad news, they're unmotivated, lazy, unmotivated and lazy. They find it easier to hurt people to try to get a leg up. In the recent past, the Two of Pentacles, multiple things going on at once. This is not centrally located. This is a project. Enterprise. Intentions and expectations. Four of Wands reversed. Conflict. Breakdown. Conflict with others regarding on the foundation or in the home. Somebody's not being supported by a family. This is transient. They may have gotten kicked out of the house. In the near future, yep, we've got the reconciliation, leaving home. Your goals have been obtained or attained. Travel plans, happiness, the lens that's being looked through. The Hermit in the reverse. Somebody lost their way. They don't have their light on. Oh, in the environment, we've got the Ten of Swords, a defeat, a collapse. Everything's collapsing for these who were greedy and lazy. Hopes and fears. Page of Swords. There's some spying going on these contracts. There's spies. They're looking at people, these curator, and their parasitical spying of the collective consciousness. They're looking to see who's going to be creating an invention. They're scoping people out, like checking out their ideas, checking out their circumstances. There's a trust, one of these feminines said. So they're targeting people that have a future ahead of them, a good future. And the outcome, Ten of Pentacles, inheritance. Domestic love. You might get a home. You're leaving home. You might be getting a new home. King of Swords is here. He knows the truth. There's a wish come true. His mental clarity. He's got mental clarity. He's receiving a 9 of Cups. He's got a wish come true coming. And there's a celebration because we're moving forward. It's an enterprise. This is a worldwide thing. And we've got the Sun and the Empress bringing a turn of the wheel of fortune. The light of divine feminine, the mother, and the Sun. The mother is embodying the essence of the Sun. She's received a rebirth. She's been rebirthed. She has a helper. The wheel is turning. And this Page of Cups is in a nightmare. A 9 of Swords energy for the work that they have been doing against this Empress or divine feminine. And this is the turn of the wheel. This is a completion. There is freedom here. So they're in fear because you are protected. They could be afraid of your protection. Queen of Cups. Persevering into a new beginning. Victory. Working with high standards and potentials. Whoever this person is, they're creating something. They're going to invent something that's going to be very beneficial. She has knowledge or an awareness of something that's been going on, that's been plaguing society perhaps. She's an abundant, nurturing Empress. She's very serious about nurturing and bringing balance and harmony. People have been fighting with her. This bully is there being met by God. This bully is like abusive bully. All about abusive relationships. For profit, because they're lazy. It's easier to hurt somebody. They've been stealing from the good, moral, loving connections. They've been parasitically peering into the consciousness of the people, into these unions, and then targeting them. Trying to extract out what they have built together because they're a devil and they're lazy and they're greedy and they don't want to do any work. They'd rather hurt somebody and take what they have built. They want to win at all costs against unified love. The enterprise, unified love. This is a worldwide, everybody coming on board for love. It's like we're tired of abusive relationships. Warring and whoring. So in the challenge position, we have a 5 of Wands. It's a territorial conflict. They want the stuff that belongs to these connections. They're coming in as a Page of Cups. Conflict. They've been using the idea of love to create conflict in Two of Cups unions. They're a devil, so they target people. And I've heard them speaking just recently about she's inventing something. It's going to bring her wealth. It's going to help the people. They want to drive her vehicle, her body, her mind. They want to take advantage of this intellectual property and this invention, and they want to claim the wealth that is coming from it. This is a parasitical entity that is very lazy and greedy, irresponsible, posing as a loving younger person. It's a devil. It's a devil. This is a host. It's a vehicle being driven by the devil, which is a narcissistic, misogynistic entity. They're posing as these men, but they are simply hosting an entity. Maybe the invention that this woman is going to invent, it has something to do with a detection or an elimination of this attachment. Take it as it resonates. Yeah, again, we've got the Four of Pentacles reversed. The Page of Pentacles reversed. They're greedy, they're lazy, they're irresponsible. They're greedy, they're lazy, they're overspending. They're only worried about themselves. They don't care who they got to hurt in order to cover their own ass, because they're too lazy to actually do any beneficial work that serves the community in a good way. They only want to claim what has been created by actual true connections. We've got the Two of Pentacles there. You're managing multiple priorities. There are some negotiations going on for the Ten of Cups. Total love and support within the community. Divine love. You're weighing your options. Intentions and expectations is that these who are bringing conflict will be kicked out of the house, so to speak. With the Four of Wands reversed, they're getting evicted from the home, from the foundation, because they're bringing conflict with others. They're not being supported anymore. This devilish, greedy, lazy, codependent, overspending, belligerent, toxic entity posing as a man or a woman. Do what you need to do with the genders. Yeah, so we've got this devil again. There's no support for this devilish energy or these devilish behaviors. They're being evicted off of the foundation. Nobody wants to have anything to do with them. They are lying, cheating scammers. They don't care who they hurt. I heard somebody say, bitch, what's wrong with you? So whoever this devilish energy is, it could be a feminine that's got a masculine karmic or whatever, who is very upset because they continue to try to move against this Two of Cups and this Ten of Cups union. And there's problems here because the divine is here. And there's no more of this kind of stuff. So there's harsh, I guess, retaliations, harsh consequences for these things these days. We've got the Two of Wands here. You're leaving home. Somebody's leaving home. Your goals have been attained. This devil has been kicked off the foundation. You're aware of the parasitical entity. Somebody's creating a beneficial invention that is going to help the community with this. Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. Making plans. The love of Divine Mother, the nurturer, reconciled. Reconciled. The love of this Divine Feminine in all of her aspects, you know, the mother as a whole, perhaps. The other day, I saw a feminine standing before somebody, and they were like, their whole body was lighting up and lit up in the colors of the rainbow. It was like there was a new covenant being made with the Divine Feminine. The rainbow as the promise. She's got the chakra system. It's all lit up. There's a new covenant with the Divine Feminine. And you've got these masculines, these devils out here. They're being kicked off of the territory. They can no longer pull or create conflict or abuse or bully this mother figure anymore. They lost their way. Their light is out. They have no light. They're being left alone. They got to go fend for themselves. Because balance is being restored, the temperance energy. They're withdrawing. They're withdrawing. They're being isolated. Somebody's being held back from this temperance energy. They lost their way. They have to withdraw from temperance. They have to withdraw from the earth angel. They got to let it go. But they're still here spying on inventions and creations and trust funds and all of these other things. There's still parasitical entities floating around in the collective consciousness, spying on people, making plans to cause chaos and suffering, to disrupt this spiritual shift, this change. They're in a Ten of Swords energy. There's suffering and defeat. Everything's collapsing. They're in crisis. They're in a Five of Pentacles energy. They don't have any money. They don't have anything. They're no longer being supported. They've been kicked out of the house, out of the foundation. There's transience for the devil because they have been bringing so much conflict to unions, to the connection between two partners. They've been playing in this, in the mind, driving people to hurt each other, to hurt themselves. They've been using love as an excuse or an open door to get into the mind and then create conflict. We got the Page of Swords here. Somebody's spying on these new contracts, or there's negotiations happening. For the Lovers. So there's contracts here. You're looking over them. Somebody's spying on them. Yeah, this curator, this parasitical, whatever this thing is. I don't know, man. It's like a spider or a worm. It's a parasitical entity. An alien for sure. That requires a vehicle, a flesh temple. If it resides in a clone, it has to have a battery, an energy source that it can harvest off of. It uses the idea of loving connection to tap into the battery, the chakra system of whoever it is they're targeting that has the light, the food, sustenance, being fed by light. You've got your Ten of Pentacles here. There's divine love. You're coming into an inheritance. You're in your stability. These ones are trying to tap into this curator is spying within the field of collective awareness, and he's targeting certain people, oracles and seers who have a trust fund, who have ideas about inventions that will be clever and helpful to society. Maybe they want to stop this invention from happening because it'll put an end to their opportunity to parasite off of the minds of people, to drive them. So we've got the Ten of Pentacles here, which is an inheritance. It's domestic love. It's stable, family, home, and security. And we've got Judgment is being called on those who were bringing conflict. The inheritance. So they could be having a 10 of Pentacles inheritance coming back to them because of all the conflict that they have put into the world, into the couples, into the marriages, into the family units, into the world. They're under judgment. They could be getting a whole 10 of Pentacles, like a whole wealth of judgment coming back, like a whole wealth of conflict coming back on them. They've been kicked off the foundation. They're responsible for their own well-being. They're in transience. They could be homeless at this time, and they've got a whole wealth of conflict coming back on them because that's what they've been putting into the world. And the wheel turns. You've got the Knight of Swords here. You're action oriented. You're defending your beliefs and your community. There's a celebration here. Somebody may be coming into the celebration to try to defend their beliefs. Again, they've got their sword raised. That's all they know, is raising a sword, raising a wand, going and being brutal to somebody. There's a celebration here. They might be trying to come into the community that is celebrating to try to get people to see their side of things about the work that they've been doing to cause heavy burdens for people using magic. They're going to be restricted. They're having negative thoughts or in victim mentality by your ability to manage multiple disruptive experiences. You've been heavily burdened with these conflicts, and you were managing yourself and your environment. They don't understand how you did it. They're being restricted from you now, or because they've done that. And that's the world. That's a completion of this cycle. We've got the World card here. Your faith has been tested. You've been found resilient. You're very courageous. You're weary. You deserve a break. And so there's a divorce from this energy. You're in a Page of Wands also. There's a divorce. These ones are experiencing the loss. You've got excitement and freedom here because of your hard work. Your hard work has got you a separation from these entities. They're still here trying to, and the High Priestess is here with the Emperor. There's no fooling around. It's like these ones are in the field of collective consciousness, spying upon the sleeper. You know, there's a lot of people out there who aren't psychic. They're not aware in the astral. When they lay their head down on their pillow, they actually go to sleep and they don't remember the next 8 hours. Many of them don't dream, but there's stuff going on in the astral, and these devils have been over there sticking knives in people and parasiting them, spiritually parasiting them, tapping into their field of awareness, stealing their inventive ideas, creating conflicts within their unions and all this good stuff. The High Priestess and the Emperor is here, and they're watching, they're bringing about a painful ending for Mr. Passion, Mr. Loverboy. The Divine Masculine knows the truth about Mr. Loverboy and is bringing a tower because of all of the betrayal and the trickery. This is going down. The need for vengeance is in the history. Whatever they've done to this star in the history is bringing about so this inheritance. You know, everybody will get what they deserve is what the Most High Divine stated. He who has the voice of authority, when he speaks, he rumbles through your soul, and it's scary as all get up. Your little spirit wants to jump right out of that flesh suit. But whatever is in the history is coming back tenfold. Now, some people are getting tenfold of conflict, of transience, of struggle, of betrayal. And some people are getting times 10, light, of love, of luxury, because they held it together and they didn't go villain on anybody. We've got King of Wands, King of Cups, overcoming challenges with love. persevering, defending this foundation, kicking these devils off the foundation. They're being made transient. They no longer can stay here. I heard these nefarious ones talking about somebody, that there was trouble in their garden. So in the Bible, it talks about the Garden of Eden, but these are frauds. These are devils who tapped into the mental of the collective and then stole all their ideas and their intellectual property, you know, those divine messages, and then they portrayed themselves as those entities. These are parasites. They're living in hosts. There's a reason that parasitical treatments aren't being offered to the human being. You've got the Queen of Pentacles here and the Queen of Swords. They're here in the truth, and the Queen of Swords has a supportive Queen of Pentacles here, and they're taking action very swiftly and very strongly. Divine Feminine. Regarding the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords, truth and abundance, and a sharing of the wealth, a sharing of the truth, a sharing of the wealth, a sharing of the love, a sharing of what is necessary to bring temperance energy to that foundation, which these ones, without a light on, these devilish toxic energies, they're being evicted from the territory. And because there's a giving of the truth, there's a giving of the abundance, and there's a victory here. And this is an enterprise. This is worldwide. It's all over the place. This is happening in the spiritual astral spaces. And not all earth angelics are awake and aware in that astral space. They could be dreamers. They could lay their head down on that pillow, and when they go to sleep, they go to sleep. And when they wake up, they get dressed, they go to work. But there's the divine over there in these spaces and places that have been hijacked by this codependent, greedy, lazy, brutalizer, devilish energy, parasitical, vampiric leech. They're very mad. They're here in the 3D. Things are falling apart. Things have already fallen apart in the astral spaces, and so now they're here in the 3D. They are desperate to tap into another vehicle. This is your chariot. It carries your soul. It carries your spirit. It carries your light body. This is your celestial chariot. They want to operate your vehicle. These are parasitical, vampiric entities. Everybody needs to do a parasite cleanse. Multiple types of parasite cleanses. So they've been bringing bullying and theft to these two loving connections, these Two of Cups connections. They've been bringing about abusive relationships. They've been operating the vehicle and sort of driving the mental body and causing conflict within the homes, conflict within the self, all this negative self-talk to keep people in a lower vibrational, not worthy kind of energy. Habitual patterns, giving you flowers just to stab you in the back or something. They will never change. They will never change that pattern. They want to mend this connection, but they will never change that pattern. So you've got a bully here who's been defeated. They're trying desperately to get back in, to get a marriage or some sort of Two of Cups union. They're spying on people. Who's making inventions? Who has trust funds? Who has this? Who has that? And they spread this parasite through asexual encounters. And it could very well be an astral parasite also that they're trying to manifest in the 3D space. These are unseen viruses that mimic the host. I saw this beetle, a big beetle. The whole inside of its whole body had been hollowed out. It was nothing but a shell, but it was walking through the woods, and there was like this little tail end of a parasite that was in its brain. and it was kind of wiggling and it was walking. It was using this beetle as a vehicle to move in the world. This Page of Cups, you know, they were in competition, in conflict, they're in disagreement, they want a Five of Wands somebody, they're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out, they want to offer love, they want to fix this connection, but you already know very clearly this is a devil with a Page of Pentacles reversed. They're irresponsible, they're lazy, they're greedy, and the Four of Pentacles reversed. They're very stingy, they live beyond their means. They don't have any intention of paying any debt back. They feel as though they have a right to it, because if they're parasiting off of your vehicle, commanding your intellectual property, that what you have is theirs because they're presenting as you. They're living life as you, so therefore they feel they can command your wealth, whether it be ideas or energy or life or any other kind of wealth or abundance. They want forgiveness. You're balancing. There's some negotiations, some decisions being made regarding a Ten of Cups union, regarding divine love and harmony. We've got sabotage. Somebody sabotaged themselves. They mess up the good things in their life. They're getting kicked out of the foundation with the Four of Wands reversed. It's a devilish codependent energy. So there's negotiations and there was a whole bunch of decisions being made regarding the Ten of Cups, and this devil sabotaged themselves. They're getting kicked out of the foundation. They're homeless. They're transient. Reciprocity, what they've been, the conflict that they've been putting in the world is coming back to them. They're gonna get what they deserve, as he with the big boomer voice that, I mean, he can speak and move you out of your body. That's God. I mean, like, if he decides you no longer should be in that flesh temple, he will move you out of it with just a word. These guys are getting reciprocity. They may be transient. They may be losing their flesh temple, their house. They need another vehicle. There's reconciliation. There's goals attained. Somebody's making travel plans. We've got the Queen of Cups here, emotionally stable. There are interferences. If you're an empath, you're very sensitive to these interferences. If somebody's focused very intently on a specific person, especially if they're in a group of people, they can project negative energies or thought forms into the minds of others. This is a hypnotist or some kind of psychic whatever that people have been abusing regarding the collective. It's very dark and shady. To abuse your authority or your gifts in such a way. The shadow side wants to escape. Their values are all about money. There's reconciliation. It could be that this Queen of Cups is leaving them behind, making travel plans. These ones are getting kicked off of the foundation. It's like there may be a new foundation that's very beautiful. I've heard these ones talk about it, how pristine, how beautiful, how vibrant it is. It's so beautiful. They've never seen anything so beautiful. They wanted to overtake that with using the Two of Cups vehicles to get in, to be acknowledged or verified. As a light being. Queen of Cups is probably going to be there soon. Maybe she's creating that. She's escaped the shadow side, whose values are all about money. She's making travel plans to leave. These ones are getting kicked out of her foundation. They can't follow her wherever she goes. They're not welcome. They're not invited. There's the Hermit in the reverse. They don't have a light on inside. They're in isolation. They've lost their way. We've got Temperance. There could be a restoration of a Temperance energy, or they have to withdraw from an Earth Angel who is part of a Two of Cups union here, a Lover's union. They're really feeling the absence of the Earth Angel or the Temperance Angel. They're really feeling the absence of the balance and the harmony that you brought to their world. They're in a Ten of Swords painful ending. They're in a Five of Pentacles loss. They've been defeated. Everything's collapsing. They're reminiscing about how fun it was to get themselves in this predicament. They're remembering, making jokes, cracking jokes, how fun it was to be so cruel. Now they're experiencing the world of violence that they were manifesting for others in the world. Again, we've got the Page of Swords. Two of Pentacles are balancing and negotiating Ten of Cups unions. They sabotage themselves. In the hopes and fears, you've got the Page of Swords. So there are negotiations for contracts of the lovers' contracts. There is they're being looked at very carefully, because this parasitical attachment, this hijacker of consciousness, is known. These loving unions will appreciate the beauty that each has to offer each other. There will be appreciation. There will be great care given to them, to each other, to themselves, to each other. I mean, look what they've had to come through. I mean, they've had to nurture their own self so that they could get their light on, right? So they already know they have this deep love for life and for their own existence. And so what they bring to the union is a good gift. It's a desire for balance, for harmony, for beauty. We've got the Ten of Pentacles here. So there's an inheritance. It's like they'll get what they deserve, he said. And that means everybody's going to get what they deserve. You know, if they brought a whole bunch of chaos to your mind, if they buried you in mental conflict or placed you in a mental prison while they tore apart your vessel, if they had used you as some sort of a vehicle and then invited all their friends in for a party and they tore up your temple, that's coming back on them tenfold. They're losing their flesh suits. They need a new vehicle. Everybody's collapsing. They're mental. They've lost connection to the source. Yeah, they could not separate you from love with all of their conflict. They are under judgment for trying. They're getting a Ten of Swords, a Ten of Pentacles inheritance. It's like it's times 10. Whatever conflict they brought, they're getting it back times 10. They could not separate you from love. You did not go into South Node. You did not go into war mode. You didn't get malicious and decide you wanted to destroy everybody and everything, even though you may occasionally toy with the idea of it or pray about it for an utter defeat of this type of behavior. They can't separate you from love. Maybe your prayers weren't to, hurt people, but to make it go away, to separate you from it, to let them have their own desire and to leave you out of it. Soul tie. You're in an irreplaceable soul tie. The way you love cannot be matched. Whoever it is that you're connected to wants to have a conversation with you. They cannot separate you from each other. These Two of Cups and the Lover's union here, which they appreciate very much, and they've got this new chapter. It's a beautiful, loving, look at this, soul tie, an irreplaceable soul tie A new chapter. They want to call and hear your voice. They want to have a talk. They want to actually have a talk. They are detached. Those who have been lying on you are detached out of your space for, and this could be a promise that has been made, a commitment that has been made by the one that you're connected to in a soul tie with. They could have, made a commitment to you. I want you to be a part of my future. Like, they're knocking all this stuff out, all the lies, all of the crapola is coming right out of your space. They're removing it, and it's time. It's too late. It's too late for these passionate passion. What was that called? Passion program. It's a passion program or whatever. They were trying to, these parasitical things that invade the vehicle or the temple, the flesh temple, or the host, that's transferred through bodily fluids, and they utilize this sexual encounter to do so. And the more that they can infect with this, whatever transfer, the more minds they can command. They're confused by your responsible connections to family. Perhaps your ancestors are here. Maybe you have ancient connections in history that nobody even talks about, that they tried to turn into a mythology or something. There's unfinished business regarding the way that they neglected you. They made mistakes. The truth has been revealed, and this is an unexpected outcome. They were not thinking that they would ever be revealed. They're hiding inside the moist flesh suit of a vehicle that is carrying a soul and a spirit, and then they mask themselves and then drive the mind into bad decisions and experiences, right, while commanding the energy, the essence, and the higher realm connections. So in the astral, these parasites are fully awake. They're fully out there sacrificing people, hurting people, doing nasty things as the host that they have infested. As the host that they have infested sleeps in their bed at night, not dreaming at all, completely unaware of what these parasitical things are doing. Yeah, everybody needs a purification, a parasitical purification, many types of. You can't believe every thought you have, because it's not. It's like it's these entities focusing real hard to drive in a lower vibrational thought form, and then have you wrap it up, or maybe them as a parasitical attachment, wrap it up with your own emotion. And you feel like it's you having the experience, but you're actually being driven into it. They're kind of, if they focus real hard as a group, they can actually do that. They're still having some luck with that. It's being dismantled. They're being disconnected. They're being driven out of the foundation, out of the consciousness, out of the the inner portion of this communications system. Breakdown in communications. They're being removed from the software that the collective shares with the divine. The Most High God is here clearing out the mental body of everyone. Many of you are empathic. You're very sensitive to these interferences and infiltrations, and so they're being monitored every time that something like this happens. It is witnessed, it is seen, and then it is studied, and then kind of extracted, or you find the fine line or the edge of the where it meets, where it joins, where it does its thing, and you evaluate it, you research it, you play with it a little bit, you discover what it is you can do to manage it yourself, or to bring about a change or a shift, or to interrupt or interfere with the process when it starts to happen. Highways of the mind are very serious electrical pathways of consciousness that, you know, your voice or your thought can be heard across the universe. And so the more that a thought travels in the mind, the wider the highway gets, and the more powerful the thought is, and the more effect it has on the energetic connections of the collective mental body that is sending a collective signal out into the universe. So it's theft and abuse that they've been doing here with the Two of Cups unions. They want to fix the connection, but they've got habitual patterns that they can't change. We've got loneliness in the reverse. You aren't sick. You aren't lonely. You're not having any disappointment. They can't make you lonely. You're no longer alone. You're not sick. They're having difficulty attaching themselves to you or to your astral or to your energy. This rivalry, this conflict that is brought on by new love or lustful connections they're stressed out. This Page of Cups is stressed out. Whoa, that came out in the reverse. We've got introvert in the reverse. You're not an introvert. You're not separated from the community. You are connected now. You're no longer alone. Like these unions that are coming together, in the Most High God is evaluating them, looking at them, looking in the mind to see if there's a presence of this other entity that has been driving this train. Somebody may have gotten kicked off of your online community. They may not be able to tap into your privacy with their mental body. A lot of people are losing their ability to gather together and to push these negative thought forms into people, into the collective field. We've got the Devil here. He's very toxic. Page of Pentacles reverse. They lack commitment. They're just greedy and lazy, and they're mean. They're just downright mean. Irresponsible. The Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Greedy again. Very stingy and possessive. They live beyond their means. They want forgiveness for this. We've got schedule. It's time for a change. I heard the divine, a member of the divine, a big member of the divine, who could have been Anu months ago, say that they are here to make certain, the old dominion is here to see to it that people keep their promises. These parasitical devilish energies were supposed to allow this union to occur, these Two of Cups lovers unions to occur, for them to get their inheritance, what they have earned through their suffering, through their consistent vow to be love, to be kind, to be forgiving. They could not separate you from love. Queen of Cups, even all the crap that has been done to the divine feminine over the centuries, they still could not separate you from love. You're coming into your Ten of Pentacles. You're getting all that love that you've been pumping out while being abused is coming back to you tenfold. So there's negotiations and a balancing happening within the Ten of Cups unions. This devil sabotaged themselves. They messed up the good things in their life. They're getting prepared. They're getting ready. We've got the Four of Wands in the reverse. They're being evicted from the territory or from the home or from this foundation because they're codependent and toxic. They're receiving reciprocity, probably times 10, for all of the conflict that they have been bringing to this. It could be a garden, like this could be the literal Garden of Eden that Adam and Eve were evicted out of. I mean, they could be reclaiming their garden and throwing out the devil. The Most High is here saying that they will get what they deserve. They also said that the land was going back to the indigenous, the original people. These devils are very upset that they're getting what they deserve. They're getting what they gave. They want to escape the shadow side. They think that they can pay their way if they give you money. Maybe they can escape this shadow. Family, they're getting reciprocity. It could be that their entire family is getting thrown off the foundation. Close family, extended family, ancestors who went along with it. They're all getting what is coming back. It could be that your new family is delivering a reciprocity to this codependent devil energy. There's reconciliation and plans for travel, making decisions. There could be the goals have been attained on behalf of the Queen of Cups. She's emotionally stable. She's very caring. These ones are really trying to pump shadow in these dark energies, you know, and they really hone in on this conflict type of energy. They want this Queen of Cups to be warring in her own mind, in her own mental body. Live and learn. Live and learn. We've got lessons learned. The Queen of Cups has graduated. She has attained her goals. She has passed the test that the shadow side and their money has put upon her. She has escaped the shadows. She's lived and learned. Whoever is in the shadows wants to escape. They think if they pay her, that she'll take the bride. They're the Hermit in the reverse. They have to withdraw from Temperance, or Temperance has withdrawn from them because they have no light in them. It's like they have no light in them, so they can't be covered by it. They're really feeling the absence of this Temperance angel or this Temperance energy. Evidence, there's an investigation happening. They might be trying to do investigation. Like I mentioned, there's these entities that are in the collective field that are spying on people who have trust funds, who have homes, who have property, who have inventive ideas that will someday bring them wealth and security. They may be doing an investigation. They're really feeling the absence of this Temperance angel or Temperance energy, and they need it back. They're in a Ten of Swords energy. Everything's collapsing. They've been defeated. They're in a Five of Pentacles energy. They're suffering a loss, a financial loss. They're reminiscing about the inside jokes. They're like, why did we do it? That wasn't so funny. Pride, ego. They're furious. Just the other night I heard somebody say, bitch, what's wrong with you? Like somebody keeps doing stuff. They're suffering here in the Ten of Swords, Five of Pentacles, and they keep doing this magic or whatever it is that they're doing, and it's coming back on them times 10. 10 of Pentacles. It's like whatever they're doing is magnified by 10 and coming back on them. They understand that now, obviously. There are negotiations and contracts being made now for the lovers who actually appreciate the beauty of each other, who actually care about each other. Their values are in alignment. There's passion here. It's a strong partnership. Look, somebody's afraid. They're paranoid from your family. It's like you've got this care here. They actually care about you, and they could be frightening, or somebody is frightened by your new family. They're furious. They're in pride energy. They're reminiscing about the jokes. They're losing everything. The divine said, I want it all, and they're taking it all. Not just the material wealth, but all of the siphoned energy. And they're shutting down their opportunity to be in the mental body of the collective. It's like the astral realms, I'm thinking, are probably cleaning up pretty good. So we've got a Ten of Pentacles inheritance. They're under judgment for the conflict that they have been bringing. They were not able to separate you from love. Everything that they've done is coming back times 10. They're not okay. They could not separate you from love. They're not able to separate themselves from this conflict. They're not stable. They're not stable. Your marriage brought an end to this, a death. They were trying to bring death to a marriage. Maybe that's what their plan is. They're not stable. Somebody's out there acting recklessly. It could be that this sweet love has brought an end to this conflict. They don't know what to do. They're hesitating. They've got an angel on either side of the shoulder, or a demon, or whatever you want to consider that. They're protesting. It could be these parasitical attachments that are in the host that is causing some kind of mental confusion for them. They're in an illusion. They're suffering loss. They're experiencing mental disturbances. They're not okay. They're not stable. They can't separate from this conflict that they put out into the world and put out onto this temperance energy. It's coming back tenfold. And somebody's out there still doing it, and her masculine counterpart is getting very upset because he's suffering too. They're not being very smart. It could be that whatever you prayed for, this real estate, this business, this investment, there is a new they were talking about these nefarious ones. They were talking about satisfying her. I guess there's prerequisites for being part of this foundational structure. They want to satisfy her. They're talking about converting. There could be a new religion or a new spirituality. They're talking about converting to satisfy her, to meet the requirements so that they can be on the foundation. But that was yesterday's read, only so that they could then Judas her or betray her at some point. So the real estate, the land will have a new religion. Or what you've been praying for is coming. Your business, your real estate, your union. These ones are getting cast away. They're being removed from the people who love themselves. They can no longer parasite off of them and then claim their stuff, their intellectual property, and their vehicle while driving them into suffering. Because their vehicle, see, they live grandly in the astral realms, and then they put the host in a suffering circumstance. So they're no longer being able to do that. They're being cast away from those people who love themselves. They can no longer portray themselves as this loving being, extracting out the loving energy while forcing the host to remain in with a stream of negative self-talk or negative argument in the mind. They want to apologize. There's a coach who wants to apologize, perhaps for teaching people how to do this. They're committed to whatever they did, wearing the mask or the identity of the sleeper, the one who actually goes to bed and rests during the night, while these ones play house in the astral, wearing their spirit, agent smithing their spirit. Many months ago, back when it was very, very bad in the astral, and I had a lot of people coming at me, just standing there screaming in my face about things that apparently I supposedly did, but I didn't. And it's like I just stood there and I was like listening to all of them, and I'm like, wow, this is like. And then somebody said that I killed their dog or something, and I'm like, no, and it's like, it's just this weird stuff that people were doing, driving the spiritual body, the light chariot, while people slept. They would go do nefarious things in the midnight hour in the astral planes as them. And people who are actually aware of these types of things would be upset because they would think that you were doing it on purpose. These nefarious ones are saying, what did they say? They said, in the astral, do they have astral awareness? See, a lot of the people don't have astral awareness, you know? They're in the 3D and they go to bed and they get up and brush their teeth, get dressed, and go back to work, you know? A lot of us have that existence, while these ones are in a different location, wearing the light body, agent smithing the light body of a host. This is over. There is death here. Due to the history of illusions, it's over. And you're coming into a happy ending. So they were wanting to win at all costs. They drive the vehicle of the flesh temple, like with this parasitical attachment. They get into the mind. It's not all AI, but it is assisted by AI. Chips. I've heard them complaining that the chip failed. They're not able to drive. They have to use pure thought. They're no longer being assisted by AI. They want to mend this connection through their habitual pattern of, you know, coming in, offering flowers and such. There's loneliness in the reverse. You're not alone. You know the truth of it. You're not lonely. You're not sick. You know the truth. They're challenged by the rivalry that they were bringing, using love as an access point to offload their fluids, which appear to be parasitically laced or something. They're overwhelmed and stressed out. They can't separate you from the truth. They can't separate you from this divine love. Perhaps they're no longer part of your online community. Perhaps you've blocked them. Online community, meaning, you know what? See, look where the light is. The light is shining on their faces, and they're blocked now. It's like they can no longer access the online community. They have no privacy anymore. They're the ones who are being listened to and stalked, ambushed. Oh, wait, where am I? Eight of Swords. They're feeling trapped. They're feeling victimized because all of that nasty behavior and nasty action that they've been putting into the world is back on them. Or there's no privacy. People can see it. People can see what they've been doing. And now they're feeling like a victim. Perhaps it's coming back on them and they have been victimized. They're the devil energy. They're toxic. They're codependent. They lack commitment to anything except brutality. They're greedy and lazy, irresponsible, living beyond their means. They want forgiveness. There's a schedule. There's a scheduled time for this to end. And they're fighting it tooth and nail. They don't want to end. This is a parasitical entity. They don't want to get out of the garden. They're still looking for a vehicle that they can inhabit that will bring them material gain. So there's negotiations regarding 10 of Cups unions. These ones sabotage themselves. They messed up the good things in their life. They've got to get ready. They've got to get ready, or maybe you're making preparations. Your hard work pays off. These ones sabotage themselves. They were trying to sabotage you by behaving badly. See, being in the vehicle, driving the vehicle, doing things in the astral realms as the spiritual host slept to destroy their character and their reputation, to sully their essence. It's all coming back on them. There's transience. They're getting kicked off the foundation. They're the codependent toxic devil. Reciprocation is here, and it could be here regarding your new family here with the Two of Cups, or it could very well be that their whole family was involved, and the reciprocity is coming back on the entirety of their bloodline. Devil. Feeling trapped. The devil is feeling trapped by your family or by the Most High Divine and family. They're delivering reciprocity. It's a karmic return happening. They're panicking. It's not good. It's goals have been attained for the Queen of Cups, for the mother figure, for the nurturer. Decisions are being made regarding happiness and reconciliation. She has learned the lessons or what was needed to be known regarding the shadow side. We've got shadow side, escape, and values about money. So they may be trying to escape. They may be trying to buy somebody off. We've got the Three of Wands here. They're hoping money will bring them an opportunity, or you're living and learning information necessary to bring about this shift, to be to catalyze change, if that's the right way to say it. The Hermit is here. They have to withdraw from Temperance energy, or they've lost their way. There is a distance. They are at a distance from Temperance energy. They're feeling the absence of it. They are researching. They're investigating. There are still a few of these attachments within the mental body, the collective field that we all share. They're spying on people. They're doing some research on people to see who has trust funds, who has money, who has house and land, who has wonderful inventive ideas that they can come in and take credit for and drive the experience in the astral realm while they leave you without the profit. Like, it's like they want to drive your energy body and pretend they are you in the astral while they inhabit a clone or something, and then draw forth the energy and keep that clone alive. Like they vitalize this cloned energy by draining the life force of the host. We've got a rebirth here. There could be the sun is here doing research. Maybe these ones have been made absent out of Temperance because of this research. There is joy and celebration here. These ones are in a Ten of Swords, painful ending. And a Five of Pentacles, loss. They're reminiscing about the jokes, how fun it was to hurt you, and now they're hurting. They're very prideful and they're furious. They're absolutely furious about your life of luxury that's coming, about your success, your Nine of Pentacles. You're going to get a new home. You're making travel plans. You lived and you learned. And you know, some of you, when you came in, I know my motto was to learn as much as you can about as much as you can. That was my internal dialogue. And I thought it just meant, you know, to go, you know, have a few jobs, to learn all the details of it, to study myself, you know. But apparently it was to suffer and to learn about the suffering, who was doing the suffering, how it was all working out, what's bringing it about. A lot of you were tapped into that path of suffering. You gathered personal firsthand testimony on how you were suffering, what brought about the suffering, what was driving the suffering, where the suffering was coming from. You know, everything happens in the astral before it happens in the 3D. There's all this pulling apart of this web that had to happen, and the collective light-bearing people were out there. Your light is shining on, and you are in your particular experience shining a light on all of the details of what has happened to you in your mind, in your heart, in your energy, in your life. These people are frightened because you're very much appreciated. You're a high value. You're very well cared for and supported, and the union that you're coming into will be such because you were able to hold on to love, to continue to be love. These ones aren't stable. They're getting a times 10 return. The judgment is a times 10 return on their conflict. They can't separate you from love. They're unstable. They've been removed from temperance energy, or from the temperance angel's essence, or from the harmony and balance that they provided this dark system. Judgment reversed. They ignored their calling. They loathed themselves. You know, all those negative thoughts, all that negative self-talk that they pushed out into the world, so that the original vehicle that was housing the spirit and soul, the light energy, that chariot that they were driving in the astral, all that negative thought that they were pushing into the matter of their brain is back on them. They're loathing themselves times 10 of what they delivered to you. And they could not separate you from love. And now they're not stable. While you have a rebirth here with the sun, and you've got your Ace of Cups, you've got a new love coming in because you remained a being of love. You did not let them drive you into malice or vengeance or grudge holding or a need to get one over on or to trick anybody or to fool anybody. You remained honorable and full of integrity regarding your own inner dialogue and self. You battled through these negative thought implants that you may have at one time thought were yours. Somebody commented the other day that they used to think they had anger issues until they understood what was happening. And it's a perfect way to explain it. It's really incredible. You triumph over this. Your love brought you through the darkness. And now you're coming into a union with somebody who also did that on their own, as you did. So it's like we've got a Page of Pentacles here. They're making plans. They got potential, but they're having a negative outlook. They don't like what they are being offered. They're getting that Four of Cups thing there. They don't like the new job. Maybe it's not paying well. They have to start at the bottom of the ladder. They're getting minimum wage. They don't like it. They've been accustomed to overspending, to taking from others and overspending. They're in the moon energy. Or it could be that they could be in fear over your new beginning, or it could be that your new beginning is hidden from this parasitical infiltrator They're trying to spy on people to see what their new beginning is. They have had some success. They've found at least one feminine who is going to invent something that's going to be very beneficial to the community. They've also talked about somebody who has a trust. They're talking about their vehicles. They need an sexual encounter or some kind of exchange in order to use them as a host. There's a Knight of Pentacles here that's very protective. It could be that you are being very protected. They know what's going on. These others that came through this scenario know exactly what's going on. There's tough decisions being made right now by a King and Queen of Wands. So they're fire. Natural leaders, shining a light. They got the light on, so they're exposing things with the light, the fire, the fire of the sun. They got their blaze on. They're making decisions. Two of Swords. They're making tough decisions regarding those who are blind to the truth. They're shining the light on, and it's time to take a break, to recuperate, and to heal. Again, we've got the Queen of Cups here. It's time for the Queen of Cups to heal, the divine feminine. She has lived and learned. She has brought forth all kinds of knowledge of what has been happening in the physical, in the astral, in the mental, in the energy, in all spaces and places around the world. This feminine figure who's been dealing with these old contracts that turned out to be parasitical entities. They're coming into new contracts with people who actually appreciate their beauty and the way that they could withstand this force and survive what it had intended for them. Interesting. The lovers are coming together. We've got teamwork, Page of Wands, Three of Pentacles, enthusiastic and fearless. We got a new journey here. It's an apprenticeship. So there is learning and such. And there is the lovers here. Duality, union, and marriage. 10 of Cups unions. So they're coming together. King of Pentacles is here. He could be making a decision about all of these illusions and bringing an end to them, bringing an ending, a death to these illusions, a wealth. He could be a wealthy, successful businessman. He's got specific skills. There's opportunities here, or he's looking at these illusions and he's bringing a death to them, an ending to them. He could be giving people's memories back. These temperance angels, they might be getting their memories back. They might be remembering who they are because their mental body had been, their intellectual property, their sacred and divine connection to source had been hijacked by a parasitical entity that has been using this fluid transfer or this energy transfer through the sexual encounter to control the vehicle of him. Take it as it resonates. Yeah, whoever it is, they're experiencing an utter defeat, man, because of this strong response to what has been going on. All of the knowledge that you gathered and made available to the Most High Divine is bringing about a serious, painful ending to these people, these parasitical hijackers, vampiric entities. They've got the Hanged Man here. They could be getting sacrificed. Like I mentioned earlier, they appear to be losing their flesh temple, like whatever host that they've been inhabiting, whatever consciousness that they were that they were commanding. It's like they're having all of this mental magic, or these negative self-talk. It's all coming back. They loathe themselves right now. It's all coming back on them times 10, and they're losing their flesh temple. They need a new vehicle, and they're looking for people who have stuff. They might be actually trying to hijack or get into the actual physical space of this person. They're looking at dental records, dimples, tattoos, birthmarks. They want to claim the host and then command it from an unseen space while putting a doppelganger into the environment. They really got some stuff going on. They're looking for an escape. Their values are all about money. The divine feminine, in all of her love and patience, her ability to withstand pain like no masculine could. She's the one who bears life in this world. You know, scientifically, she should not be able to withstand that pain, but she does. She's come through a lot of very challenging circumstances, and she has arrived with the truth. And not only her, but her partner here that cares about her, that recognizes and appreciates the beauty, and she too in him. Where is he? It's like he's here in the Lover's card. He's showing up in the Lover's card. We got distant, so you know the truth. These people who have been stealing or thieving the intellectual property, the ideas, the energy, running around in the astral realms aware and doing things in the astral to hurt people under the mask of the host, the flesh host. Now, the more people they can have sexual encounters with, the more people they put their particular self into, the more people, the astral body that they can walk around as an Agent Smith in, doing things in the astral. So say this person has 5 partners, they can command the light body or the spirit of that person in the astral as they're sleeping in the 3D. It's a weird thing. Fierce. They're feeling trapped. They're feeling victimized. They're no longer connected to your online community. They're stressed out. They could not separate you from love with their disgusting patterning. You're being very fierce about it. It could be the divine is being fierce about it. It could be that this one that they're trying to stop, this lion who is shedding a light, shining a light within the minds of the people and investigating all of the sorrows, all of the sufferings, what had happened, what was driving their mind, who's manipulating the energy, what's going on with the emotional body, what's going on with the 3D circumstance and the stability, what's in the environment, both in the 3D world and in the astral world, investigating. These people are feeling trapped. They're being met with aggression. The devil here, lazy, greedy, irresponsible, living beyond their means, overspending, tapping into a lot of people with these sexual, these one-night stands or whatever. They've been tapping into people's energy, light body, and then extracting out their spiritual wealth, their inheritance there. They've been living beyond their means, extracting out the energy from these one-night stands, leaving people in loneliness and insecurity. They want forgiveness. They need to protect themselves. We're on schedule. for on schedule. Hard, things are difficult now. Things are difficult now. You're a diamond. They can't get into you. They can't get their low vibrational crap into you. You don't want to participate in that low vibrational lustful energy. You see yourself as what? As a diamond. You deserve more. You're not playing that game anymore. Maybe you know the truth of it with the Ace of Swords here. You're keeping your distance from these people. There's negotiations. There's a balancing being brought to a Ten of Cups unions. These entities sabotage themselves. They messed up the good things in their life. And you're getting ready. There's arrangements being made. Your hard work is paying off. You're seeing results. They're getting removed from the platform, from the foundation, from the software. There's like a antivirus happening within the mental collective field that we all share in this realm. The parasitical presences are being eliminated. They're losing their vehicles. They need people in a state of low vibrational suffering. You are shining brightly. They can't get their bad low vibrational behaviors to stick to you. Your hard work paid off. You lived, you learned as much as you could, about as much as you could. You brought all kinds of firsthand testimony and fine details. Things that you may not even be aware of, because these ones were in the astral wearing you as a suit, so to speak. They were agent smithing your Holy Spirit as your 3D self slept. The divine can see that. That's part of the record. They were watching somebody the other day. There was an innocent, younger there. She had like a cellophane thing, and there was like a yellow dress in it. And then there was this entity that was in the sleeper. They were in bed, but it's like they sat up and then they started sewing this white thread into this. And it's like there was an agent Smith there trying to either sew themselves into it, the energy of this person, or they were trying to bind this person into the cellophane somehow, or whatever they were doing. But so this is what they're doing. And they get in when the sleeper, the one who thinks they're just going to bed and they don't ever have any dreams, like these kinds of things are happening to them as their spirit is sleeping. This is all being brought to a stop. The divine can see the records of this, the history of it. The love in you allows you to survive it. And so he can look in and say, the divine, he's omnipresent, omniscient, all that stuff. He can see everything. And these ones, they broke their promises to you. They didn't keep any of the promises they make. They tried to they broke your heart. They tried to break your spirit. They were not able to. Your hard work pays off. These ones are getting evicted out of the foundation, out of the community that is shared between people. This codependent, toxic, devilish energy. There's two of them here, the devil and the devil. So you've got this codependent, toxic devil here is getting kicked off the foundation. There's no more of that business going on, and they're receiving reciprocity from your family, or their entire family is getting it back. We got devil ×2. So there is ×2 devilish stuff going on, and they're getting that back ×10. They're under judgment for all of the conflict. It's coming back on their entire family, or it's being delivered by your new contract and the family that comes with, who actually care about you. These ones are furious. These prideful people are furious, and they're in big time fright. And a while back, a year or so ago, one of these divine masculines that were on the upper, he said they should have loved them for who they were. They have claimed these upper masculines have claimed the purity, the innocence, those who remained in love, those who care about families, those who refused to give up their essence of love and to be in that energy. They're earth angels, they're temperance angels. They brought balance and harmony and light to the world. Ending. There's an ending here for this devilish behavior for this family, or they're being delivered an ending by your new family. Take it as it resonates. They're being evicted out of the territory, off the foundation. It could be that in this timeline, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be perishing. They're going to be going crazy. They're going to be having heart attacks. They're going to flip out because they're in a they don't have any light on, and they've been kicked out of this temperance energy. Rabbit hole. They're stuck in a crazy drama. The shadow side needs an escape. They were using money as an escape. They were using the public's money as an escape. Their intellectual property, their money-making ideas. It could be that they were siphoning their 3D paycheck. They're stuck in a crazy drama. You've been successful, Queen of Cups. Whatever, do what you need to do with the genders. We all have both masculine and feminine in us. This is a feminine energy. Please do what you need to do with that. You are successful with the Three of Wands here. And there is no forgiving. You're not forgiving these people for making you live through that crazy drama, or the divine's not forgiving them for doing this to you. There's vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. The need for vengeance is in the history. They've got devil out here times 3, guys. Devil, freaking devil. And so we got devil times 3, and then we've got the return is times 10. This is crazy, fierce. So they have to withdraw from this temperance energy. They've lost their way. They're feeling the absence of this energy. The sun is here. There's evidence here. There's a investigation being made by the sun. Those who embody the essence of the sun, all of their experiences are seen. The true Akashic, not the fabrication that these entities have been doing in the astral realms, but the true experience of the 3D host. So they're in a painful ending here. They're losing they're in a 5 of Pentacles energy. They're reminiscing about the history of their actions. These prideful people are furious about your coming life of luxury, about your 9 of Pentacles. You always pick up the pieces when things fall apart. Now look for the complete package. It could be that there's a flip here. You're coming into your 9 of Pentacles and they're falling to pieces over it. They're furious. They're literally falling to pieces. Their minds are shutting down. They could be raging. They're raging. They're having emotional outbursts. There's new negotiations and contracts for the lovers here. There's a coming together of people who appreciate the beauty in each other and who actually care about creating a family, about, they're excited about creating generational family trees, lineage and all of that. So they're very much caring about that. It's bringing about paranoia and fright for these prideful people who are reminiscing about the jokes that they told while trying to destroy that for you. Painful 10 of Swords ending. They're furious, man, over your 9 of Pentacles. You're getting the complete package. You've always picked up the pieces when they fell. And now you're coming into a life of luxury. They're not able to parasite you and claim your reward, to claim your trust fund, to claim your intellectual property, your creative ideas. They're experiencing a loss, a defeat. They're in a lack mindset. They can no longer tap into your abundant mind and your creative ideas. They're frightened because they have been found guilty. They have been found guilty by this family divine, this higher dimensional family that is here. I feel as though there were a lot of people here in feminine energy that willingly went through tremendous suffering in order to gather information and irrefutable evidence of what has actually been happening to the Homo sapiens and other life forms here in the 3D. They're frightened for what they have done to the people, the society, and what they've been doing to them. Society. So there is a 10 of Pentacles inheritance coming back. They're under judgment for the conflict. They were not able to separate you in your divine feminine energy, your nurturing energy, your healer energy. So they're unstable now. And they're loathing themselves. They're loathing themselves. All of that negative mental projection is coming back on them times 10. Possibly like devil, devil, devil. And then you got shadow here. It's a potential 3 or 4 devil cards out here on this family, and everything they did in that energy is coming back on them times 10. This is probably going to happen very quickly. They're having anxiety. They're anxious. They don't know what's going to happen next. There could be a punishment happening. We've got burned. Conquest. Just another notch in the headboard. They needed to get a relationship. They needed to exchange fluids. They needed to exchange parasitical, vampiric energies or whatever that is. The truth has set you free. They need to face it. They know something isn't right. They can't free themselves from this sticky situation. It's all seen. They were making things a very rough road for you and using love as an escape route, playing games with love. So they'd come in the 3D or in the astral, they would get a contract with somebody, and then they would host that spirit while disturbing the 3D experience of many flames. Empty vessel. This weed, this darkness weed, it can't produce any fruits. It can't grow anything good. They're grieving. It didn't work out the way that they had planned. They were tempted by the snake and it's over. You're tired of the neglect. You deserve a break. And there's an exit plan here. Take it as it resonates. So now they're talking about doing a physical thing in the 3D, and you hear that all the time. You've got these wars coming out. I mean, they need this connection. They need to command the consciousness of people. They need to command the chariot, the light body. They're claiming it through some of these horrific explosive events. which will throw people into South Node and make it easier for them to stick this devilish energy onto them, or these intentions. It will make them easier to be parasited off of. Right now you're shining like a diamond. They can't stick anything to you. They're losing their opportunity to drive the vehicles of the Homo sapiens and other life forms. The truth is out here. They could be dealing with revenge. Somebody, your family may be, or the divine is exacting revenge because they know the truth. They could present themselves as curious. They want to mend the connection. They got habitual patterns they won't change. You're not alone. It could be anybody approaching you, knows the truth of their intentions, their curiosities, and will exact revenge on them. They're far away. They could be at a distance. Conflict. They're using love, intimate encounters to create conflict within the vessel of others. They're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out. They may have been blocked or disconnected from your online community. You're not separated from anybody. They couldn't separate you from love. They couldn't separate you from the divine. You're out here as a light-bodied being. Your spiritual light-bodied self has been recognized and identified, and your story has been examined. They're feeling trapped. There's an aggressive behavior coming. They could be receiving some vengeful action. We've got travel and we got distant. They may have to go somewhere. They're going somewhere. They're getting kicked off the foundation. They're becoming transient. They're homeless. The devil here. Irresponsible, greedy, lazy, overspending. They want forgiveness from the diamond, from the shiny one. Their life is being very hard. They're very envious over the light in you, over the goodness in you, over the love in you. I don't know that they're capable of being that. They're only capable of parasiting off of that. There's new standards and within these negotiations for the Ten of Cups unions. They sabotage the good things in their life, these devilish energies. They're getting ready because your hard work is paying off. They broke all of their promises. They broke your heart, but they could not break your spirit. Your hard work paid off. And you're still a loving Queen of Cups energy here who brought forth a lot of information that made a shift possible. Greed. They broke all their promises. They were very greedy with you. They're jealous of your diamond light, your love. They're getting kicked out of the Four of Wands energy. They're out of here in the reverse for bringing conflict with others. They can't be present here. They got to get out. They're being evicted from the software program of the collective mind. There is an antiviral thing happening. There is revenge being enacted. These devils, there's two of them up there, intentions and expectations. They're feeling trapped. They're receiving reciprocity. Everything that they put out, they're getting back. It could be that their whole family is receiving this. And then we've got an ending. They're pretending that it's not ending. But that's not the case. It's time to let go, but they don't want to let go, right? They're in the death throes. It's like their minds are shutting down. They're heavily sedated. They're having all of these weird disturbances. They could be having supernatural disturbances. Whatever this parasitical attachment is, because they can't put it on you, it's eating them up or it's driving them crazy. It's knocking them out of their head. They're going insane. People are talking about it. The grapevine, people are talking about it. This is ending. The Queen of Cups energy has been reconciled. There is a plan to leave home. It's like there could be some form of a rapture, but I see it more as like a dimensional shift. There's like a stepping up into a new environment. These ones are really upset because whatever environment this divine feminine energy is stepping into is beautiful, is pristine, It's luxurious. They're not able to tap into the mind or the temple of this person. They could be doing, this might be why this curator keeps complaining about medicines or adaptogens. It's like there could be like a parasitical cleanse going on. Like this person, whoever this energy is, they have been taking care of the temple, which houses their soul and their spirit. They've been doing cleanses on the regular. Their energy is shining like a diamond. They can't stick this devilish stuff onto them. They might not be having sexual encounters. They can't offload this stuff into them. There's no forgiveness, and there is success here for the Queen of Cups. These ones, Shadow is looking for an escape. Their values are all about money. They're stuck in a crazy drama. How far are you willing to go? They're very hostile. They're talking about, you know, a 3D destruction, KID napping, some form of obtaining. Divine Mother in one of her aspects has said that these people will not obtain you. So there is that. Promise of protection. These ones lost their way. They're being withdrawn. They have to withdraw from this Temperance Angel. They're feeling the absence. There is an investigation here regarding the Sun. Those who embody the essence of the Sun Divine, Most High, turning on that communications system within the temple and the mental body, and is looking at all of the details of the lives of people to see what they did, what they were hiding, were they hijacked, was it really them, was it a doppelganger, was it somebody agent smithing their spirit self as they lay in their bed sleeping, what kind of things were they doing, you know, I mean, everything is being accounted for and then organized and then placed. The return is placed where it needs to go. There is success here. There's a successful research going on and a successful investigation, and somebody's feeling very negative about that. It could be that the results are very negative. Somebody here is in a Ten of Swords energy, a painful energy, a painful ending. They're in crisis. They've been defeated. They're in a Five of Pentacles energy also. They're losing all their money. They're reminiscing about how fun it was, all the inside jokes of this great devious plan. These prideful people, they're furious that it did not go the way they had planned. You picked up the pieces and you kept going on, and now you're getting the complete package. You're getting a Nine of Pentacles. You are successful. Three of Wands, successful. It's time for you to go on an adventure. You're not forgiving these energies anymore. The Divine has stated that you've been too forgiving, but they are here now to set things right. We've got a big favor. Yeah, somebody's going to come forward looking for a big favor. You've got a Nine of Pentacles success here. They're furious about it. They may try to approach you with a favor. They've been found guilty and they're frightened. They're paranoid. There's new negotiations and contracts regarding the lovers, and they actually appreciate the beauty and the strength of each other, and they care about each other, and they want to have parenthood with each other. So there's new family connections of those who have overcome this parasite and who have, those who have overcome it. Now these nefarious ones, they were talking about they need the flesh of somebody who has already done it. So they are out there looking for the strongest man and the strongest female. There's still this threat happening by these stragglers. They still have a host here in the 3D. They may use that host to come forward and to do harm to those who are eliciting and bringing forth this change in perspective, this change in circumstance. Somebody's frightened. They need sage advice. The Divine, I heard, tell them the other day that they needed to go seek wise counsel because their Savior didn't save them. There were two prophecies, one that the devil had, these devilish, codependent, toxic people had, and then another prophecy. And apparently the other prophecy is the one that's playing out here. The one where the feminine energy rises with all of this beautiful information, which allows the presentation of irrefutable evidence on what has been happening to life in general and as a whole. There's a Ten of Pentacles return. There's a Ten of Pentacles inheritance. There's a judgment being cast on the conflict. They could not separate you from love in your Queen of Cups energy. They are not stable. They are disconnected from your temperance, from your balance, from your inner harmony, from your sun. They're having anxiety. They don't know what's going to happen next. And we've got judgment in the reverse. There's a punishment here. Revenge. The Lord is their need for vengeance is in the history, and it's happening. There's a punishment. They're loathing themselves. All of the negative self-talk, that magic, mental magic that they were running through the minds of the vehicles that they were driving in. It's weird. I'm hoping this is making sense. It's coming as I'm reading the cards. I'm channeling this. Support. They need support. You have support. They could not separate you from love. These ones are loathing themselves. They need support. There's punishment coming to them from the divine who is supporting you. There's a very hostile attitude being shown to these shadow people who were using you as an escape route, your love as an escape route for money. They're in this crazy drama, this crazy hostile drama, this vengeful punishment. They've been found guilty. They're furious. People are still out there trying to do magic to turn it around. Somebody's very upset. Bitch, what's wrong with you? They keep intensifying the return that's coming. They've already received the information. They know what's coming, and yet there's somebody out there that is piling it on even after they know about this return. They're continuing to do it, thinking that they're going to be able to butt heads against it. There's stuff happening. You can say goodbye to the past. This whole experience will fade away like a bad memory. Somebody has some bad news. They're needing a small favor. They're hoping that you welcome them. They are here for entertainment. They entertain themselves with secrets, and they need to vent something. They need to get something off their chest. They have an attachment or something, and they need to get it off their chest. They need to get in your energy. They need to get into your intimate space. The truth is that this imposter needs a safe space, and they want to come in and attach themselves to your essence, to your light body, to your protection. You're the one who has protection, and they have been separated away from your protection, and they're receiving vengeance. So if you step in and help anybody at this particular time, if you step in and have a relationship or some kind of intimate encounter here with this Five of Swords energy, Five of Wands energy, this Page of Cups energy, looking for love. They're the devil, irresponsible. Yeah, this is a envious person who's receiving hostility from the divine. If you get yourself wrapped up in that, I don't know, man. I don't know if the divine will let you. I don't know if these people can attach, even if you tried, but if you agreed to it and allowed it, you may have to take on the karmic debt. I don't know. They're feeling victimized and isolated. You're being fierce, or they're receiving a fierce and aggressive energy from the divine. They're taking a trip. They may have to travel. They might be leaving. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave that one here. I hope that this clarifies something that you already intuitively knew. I do believe that the divine has your back. You are here and you have successfully managed this experience, and you came out still a being of love, a being who cares about others and sees the beauty, and you actually have a love for and maybe a desire to be a parent, to create a new generation. A new generation of starseeds who embody the essence of the sun. See you on the next one, everybody. Bye.